All right, we finally have what we need to get the Subaru back on the road. I am really excited because we have some upgrades for this thing that I'm really excited to get on there, you know, because it's going to be a lot of fun with the upgrades, and we've got a tune date set for it and everything, but it doesn't even freaking drive right now because the transmission's out of it. So we got a new upgraded transmission and diff and stuff and things that we're going to put in it, but step one is we got to get it back in the shop. The fun of having non-working cars. Flat tire probably is making it still a little more difficult than it needs to be. Alright, we got the Subaru in here without too much trouble. So what we have today, I picked this up in Orlando the other day. It is a JDM 5-speed out of a WRX. From what I understand, they're pretty much the same as the American ones, so there's not a huge benefit there. Supposedly the gears are stronger, but I don't think so. I've heard mixed things on that. I tend to believe it's the same as just the other 5-speed. So take that with a grain of salt, say same gears, but this one, the reason we have a diff here as well is because this is a shorter gear ratio. This is a 444 final drive. So since it's all-wheel drive, we've got a front diff and a rear diff. So because of that, since this is 444 instead of the 410 that was in my car, we have to change the rear diff as well. Otherwise our ratios wouldn't match. So yeah, we've got complete trans, diff. We're ready to go. Just need to get this stuff in the car. I was dilly-dallying a little bit because I know I'm going to need Ben's help to toss the trans up in there. And then I remembered, oh wait, I gotta change the freaking diff too. So yeah, we need to get to it because I'm assuming, just like the front, when we took this apart, if you saw that video, we'll need to unbolt a lot of the arms off this knuckle to swing it out far enough to, you know, pull the axle out, you know. So is this one of the studs like broken off in there? I don't know. Probably a good thing we're changing this anyway, but let's get to it. That part of the axle is out. That was what I was most worried about. I gotta get the inside out, and then we have to do the same on the other side, and then we can worry about the diff. What do you think? You think she'll go without a fight? Well, I couldn't even ask you the question. Talk right out. Cool. All right, well, let's get this out of here. Out of the way. One axle out. Same on the other side, and then, yeah, like I said, we'll start focusing on the diff itself. Okay, axles are out. This side did not want to cooperate. It was just not having it. So I had to end up taking basically the whole knuckle off. I've got it kind of hung up there with the bolt. But yeah, so I had to take the whole knuckle off to get the axle all the way out. It just was not having it. So yeah, now we need to pull the diff out. It looks like we got some bolts here. This little plate thing needs to come out, and whatever's going on back here. Like I said, I think this is supposed to be, there's definitely supposed to be a nut here, and there's, you know, something's missing. And then this should be a stud, not a bolt. So yeah, I don't know. We're just gonna go for it. Only had this thing like a day and I'm already putting it to use. This is, someone sent me this awesome support stand thing for working on the lift. Sweet. At least it's a tiny little diff. Now we got to throw the new diff in. The only thing that I'm concerned about when it comes to putting this new one in is it's got these very long studs here that the front needs to go on, but it needs to get in here. And that one had really way too short rear studs, and I was barely able to snake it out with, you know, get it off these enough and whatever. I don't know. I think if I stab the back end, then I can like push it up on the front or something. I don't know. I feel like it's going to be a bit of a challenge. So wish me luck. All right, well, this in. Just gotta put everything else back in. And just like that, the new rear diff is in. Really nice to actually have two studs there instead of one stud that doesn't even stick out past the bushing and one bolt that's cross-threaded in the housing. So I do need to get nuts for these. They're M12 by 125. I could use like a lug nut, but obviously we're not gonna do that. So I'll need to go to the store and get nuts for those. But overall, really happy with how that went. Not bad at all, not bad at all. When I thought about the fact that I was gonna have to pull the axles, and to pull the axles, I was gonna have to pull the hubs, I was like dreading it. But you know, don't ever put yourself in that mindset where you're like, oh, I've gotta do all this and it's gonna suck. Just do it. And most of the time it's not that bad, man. It's just nuts and bolts. That's like the best advice I could ever give you, is it's just nuts and bolts at the end of the day. So anyway, that really wasn't bad at all. So sweet, now we can move on to the trans. So first order of business is getting the clutch back on. It's a bit of a Christmas miracle, but I found my clutch alignment tool for this clutch, which is amazing. I normally never have clutch alignment tools and just do it by eye. So to make this a little easier, I wish I had my pocket tee on so I could put these in my pocket. Okay, so like I said, most of the time I've installed clutches, I just eyeball it. And then I tried to use the clutch alignment tool and I had worse luck. But the key is you gotta center it. Like it can be way off still with the tool. So you gotta kind of center it, tighten it down, and make sure it goes in and out easy. That is the key. Yeah, see, like that. Oh, that's a little hanged up. Seems about right. We'll try it. If it's a pain to get on and it doesn't want to go on, then we'll reevaluate. It's about as good as I can feel like I can get it. Seems about right. Torque her down and then try to put the trans in. Well, we got to change some stuff on the trans, so we'll do that next. So as you can see, this transmission has a bunch of wires on it that I don't really think I need. All my wires are in the car. Basically, I need to make this transmission like this one, the way this one came out. So we don't need this mount here. We can take the clutch slave off, yada, yada, yada. Basically, that is the plan. Just switch everything over. I kind of want to switch my shifter over, but I don't know how much of my shifter is stock. I guess that arm's stock. I guess it's just the shift handle that's not stock. I guess we'll run this one, and if it's lame, we'll switch it out to the one I have. I think the one I have is supposed to be a short shifter, but I don't know. I don't like it very much anyway. So yeah, so I guess we'll just take this big mount off, take this wiring off that we're not using, and we'll be ready to throw her in. Alright, we've got the wires that we're not using off. We got I went ahead and switched the trans mount over. This is the one that was on this trans. You can see there's not a whole ton of rubber connecting the two. It's a very soft and gooey mount. So the other one is rubber all the way through here. So I decided to switch to that one. I think it'll be a little bit sturdier. Other than that, pretty much ready to go back in. One thing I did do a dry run on is the pin. So if you didn't see the video where we pulled this out, that pin goes in here, and you can see what happened was it slid out of this side and then broke that off because I never put the cap in it that holds it in place. So I'm waiting on the cap. I ordered that. But anyway, I basically put it in and took some pictures of how far in it is to where it's all the way in, because there's a pin here that this end slides over and locks onto. And I think before I might not have even got it all the way on that pin. It might have been turned like this and just, you know, butted up against it. So anyway, I just kind of did my homework this time so I can make sure that the pin goes in all the way. So we don't have that issue again, because the whole reason this trans is out is because this pin backed out and freaking snapped the case. Okay, I'm gonna clean this up some and yeah, throw it in. You guys ready to watch a struggle bus?
No, it's going in first time.
You think so?
Oh yeah.
So it's always kind of a guess whether the clutch is lined up good enough for it to go right in or not. Lined it up like 3 times. I think it's as center as it's gonna get, so.
It's pretty straight.
So weird, these pull clutches. So normally, throwout bearing would press against the fingers, push them, and that would disengage the clutch. Whereas on this, it pulls them to disengage the clutch. So you basically, we gotta put the trans up on there, get it lined up, and then take this clutch fork and like pop it onto the throwout bearing and then put the pin in. Really weird. I've never done it this way. We put the engine in and had to do this, but we've never put the trans in, you know, with the engine already in. So anyway, I'm just hoping it goes smoothly. Wish us luck. Hold on, let me get it. You gotta take the dipstick out, pull it back down. Straight up, basically. There we go. Here, can you hold it for 1 second?
I think so.
While I grab the, you got it?
I think it's like the engine needs to tilt back.
Yeah, for sure, because this is normally touching.
Okay.
There we go. I went in.
No, it was a pain in the ass, but not too bad.
No.
Without this, we would have been.
Yeah.
Whoever sent that in, thank you.
Yeah, right. Seriously, though. We would have been completely screwed.
We would have had to do it on like lower. Basically.
Yeah, with a normal jack. Fork isn't
Like bound
caught
up.
up. Yeah. Oh, now it's caught. Like, how are you supposed to see it? Feels kind of like it. I don't know. It's so hard to tell. All right, we got the trans in. There is one pesky bolt. I don't know how I got it out without pulling the turbo, but it's definitely not going in without doing something with the turbo, so I'm gonna have to address that. To get that bolt in, and then it's just bolting the bell housing bolts up. Then we can start working on the trans mount and shift. You guys know how it goes. This stuff's drive shaft, intercooler, starter, yada yada, all the fun stuff. All right, I got the starter back in. I got my wires hooked up besides the Y band because we don't have the downpipe in. I need to put that in. There's a lot of little stuff, and it's hard to plan the order of operations out well, you know, because like I wanted to put the intercooler on, but I need to wait to tighten this upper trans mount down until I have the trans up in place. Otherwise, it's gonna like fight it, and you know, just things like that. So anyway, back to work. mounts in. Shifter's up in place. Drive shaft we gotta get bolts for. I guess we can move up top. All right, got pretty much everything buttoned up here. I still need to do the rest of the exhaust, the drive shaft, front axles, I think that's about it. But we need to go get some hardware. I need to get hardware for the rear diff studs. I need to get hardware for the drive shaft. I need to get hardware for my turbo because that stuff like freaking rusted up. So let's run to the store. Is to drive it during boost weather. And it dawned on me, I have another boosted car I can drive in boost weather. All right, well, made it back home empty-handed. I forgot to think about the fact that it's Sunday and Ace closes early on Sundays. So we got there and it was like half an hour after they had closed, but that's okay. I could get like the bolts I need technically at Lowe's, but they just don't have a good selection, period, especially not a metric stuff. But I like, you know, in a lot of situations, I like flange-headed bolts and nuts and things like that, and I like grade 8 bolts, and if I'm gonna buy bolts, I want to buy nice bolts basically, and Lowe's stuff's always kind of like meh, you know. It gets me by for some stuff, but for other stuff I'd just rather wait since I can't get everything there anyway. So anyway, yeah, we're gonna have to wait on bolts, but that's okay because we are also waiting on a few things. Let me show you actually. Okay, so thing number one, these roll pins that go in here for the axles, mine broke in half when I took them out. One disintegrated, one, this is the other one that just broke in half. And I figured I could just go to the Subaru dealer, the Subaru dealer and pick these up. However, the closest Subaru dealer to me is an hour away and they didn't have them. So I ordered them online, waiting on those, waiting on the plug that I forgot to put in last time for the pin that goes in the clutch fork there. Definitely don't want to risk messing that up again because that's the whole reason we're in this freaking mess. And then 3, notice this today when I got under here, the wheel bearing is worse for wear, I would say. It's pretty much toast. I'm probably just gonna order the whole kit. Just do that when I get everything else in. That way this thing still rolls. So yeah, anyway, we're waiting on some stuff. So I'm just gonna keep working. I wanna get as much done as I can before I hit a stopping point. That way I have as little as possible to do next time. All right, so I just went ahead and put the axle that I could put back in. I'm still waiting on the roll pin for it, but I mean, I can do that with it completely in. I would put the other side in, but we got to do the wheel bearing, which will require pulling the whole hub off. And yeah, so I'm gonna have to wait on that. I guess we can move to the interior, button up the shifter so we can see how it shifts, the stock one versus the modded or whatever short shifter one I had. Shifter, okay. Gonna put our plate on here. All right, got the shifter and everything reassembled. I like this one a lot better. This shifts nicer. I mean, it feels like it does just sitting here. It's I like the height better. It's a little bit closer to me. It's like, it's actually in a good spot. The other one was like up here. It was always just really weird to get to. It just felt unnatural, whereas this one feels good. I'm really happy that I decided to keep the stock shifter on here, but yeah, we got most of the interior back together. Really, I love the interior of this car. It's definitely my favorite part. These JDM tiger stripe seats and stuff. It just, it's so unique. Okay, see if there's anything else that we can get done today. Well, she is mostly back together. I mean, there's really not much left for it to be driving. I was really hoping to drive it in this video, even though I knew I was missing those couple little things. just because it's boost weather. Like I said, when I got this car, right, my whole goal was to get it done before boost weather ended, because it was like right towards the end of like it being cool out, and I didn't get it done in time, waiting on parts and stuff. So anyway, I've been really excited for it to get cold again and be able to go rip this thing. And you know, it broke and whatever. So anyway, I'm really excited to get it back driving this time of year. I think it is going to be like such an amazing car to have ripping around this time of year, because it's a Subaru, it's all-wheel drive, it's comfy, I like the way it drives. I don't know, I'm just hyped. I'm hyped to get this thing going. So next time we'll knock out the last bit of stuff that we're waiting on the parts for, and just hammer that out real quick, and then we got upgrades. So we're doing, you know, bigger injectors and all this stuff, but I'm really excited about that, because I have a feeling I have a bad injector, and I think it's intermittently firing, and the car's got an intermittent misfire where, you know, when you get into boost, it clears up and the injector works, but at low speed and tip in and stuff, it's not working. So replacing the injector should help, and then we're going to get it actually tuned, and I think that'll help a lot. So I think, you know, between upgrades and new injectors and a tune, this thing is going to drive 10 times better. So I am so excited for that. So anyway, that's what's in store for next time, but we are waiting on some parts, so we're gonna have to end it here for today. But lots of big stuff coming up. Fummins build starting, all the other projects. We're making good progress on Ben's car. We should have the engine in within a week or two, like in, bay painted, etc. So always lots going on here. I'll see you guys for the next project. Thanks for watching, or this one for next episode. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Goodbye.